Are you?
Hi, it's Abby here from Brook and Cedar, and I'm really excited to have my lovely friend Noel here.
Hi.
So Noel and I have known each other for about 6 years. We just worked out. It feels like it's way longer.
Yeah, very much longer.
Yeah. And Noel has been involved with the oils for nearly 20 years. So he has been the person who's been instrumental in bringing the oils and making them make meaning in my life. So hi.
G'day. Good to see you.
Yeah. So in the last few videos, I've been talking to people about how they can move house stress-free, and supposedly I'm the example of that, which
Right.
sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like last video, I tried to make bath salts and did it with one hand while videoing, and it was a nightmare. It was a complete nightmare. But anyway, the video went up anyway. So it's not... Anyway, I just want to be real.
Yep, very real. Warts and all.
Well, thanks for that. Yeah. Not genital.
You went there.
And we wouldn't know, right? Let's just get that straight.
No.
Okay. This is a little bit out of control, but that's fine because that's how we roll.
Yeah.
So apparently moving house is deemed to be one of the most stressful situations in life, right up there with death and divorce. And Noel has just recently moved house.
Yes.
And I was wanting him to share with us, just one quick thing before we go there. Noel has actually been helping me pack. He's only been here for less than 24 hours, and he's helped me pack up the kitchens.
Yeah.
I was thinking this was an awesome opportunity for him to share with us one really simple tip for moving. He's just done it all on his own.
Yeah, I did. The thing with moving, it's stressful because of the emotional back issue, like you're moving house, you're severing connections with that particular house, irrespective of whether it was a good time or a bad time, whatever. There's a transition. For me, that was very evident, and I needed to manage the whole thing. So I worked out how much time I could actually spend comfortably and what I could get achieved in that time. And for me, it turned out to be 2 hours. And I would dedicate that 2 hours per day, totally focused on packing, nothing else. I wouldn't answer the phone, go to the computer, just put a bit of music on and totally focus for that 2 hours. And after, a couple of weeks, you could see the difference. You could see the lounge room was full of boxes, that everything was down to bare essentials, that all we needed to do was just put it on a truck and we were gone. And that managing it that way, that was for me, that was as much as I could cope with. And other people might be different, but work out for yourself what you can afford, what's comfortable, what you can manage without stressing or keeping the stress under control so it doesn't overwhelm you and you end up running around in circles and doing nothing.
So you made a really good point when we were discussing this before about planning it so that you don't put yourself under that time pressure,
Yes.
under that time stress.
Of course. So, thank you. Calculate how long it's going to take you, double it, and then you're close.
That's what they say about when you do house renovations. Work out how much it's going to cost and then double it, if not treble it, because there's all those unexpected costs involved.
True.
So if you do that with moving, you'll get money back, possibly.
Well, you'll be packed on time.
Yeah.
You'll have,
Yeah.
and some people with stress affects their health. So, in effect, you're saving your health if you manage it, and that assumes you have the option. Sometimes that's not possible.
Yeah.
That things need to
Be
done really, really quickly.
Just do it.
Yes, just do it, but make sure you take time out for yourself, perhaps a massage or whatever relaxes you, to reset that button, because you don't want to build up stress. That's going to kill you.
That's an awesome point, because that's exactly what I talked about last week, was having, I made the example of having simple bath salts, which by the way have all been used. So although everything is cleaned up and I have a completely sterile bathroom now, I still jump in there with aching bones and tired back and all the rest and have a beautiful bath with all the oils and everything. And it's not quite a spa, but it's way better than just grabbing a quick shower and then getting on with dinner.
Yeah.
And the other thing was last week we talked about relationship stress and the fact that the stress of moving house can often lead to a relationship breakdown. And that's what I also talked about last week in terms of it's one of the major stresses. So in my case, I'm doing this move solo because my partner's away. He was only here for one day last week and he's gone again. So it's a really interesting, there's a lot of things which put stresses on us. It's not just packing, it's not just the money constraints, it's not just the time constraints, but it's all the other things that you're trying to regulate. So I chose this oil as my number one fave. That's Stress Away. Great name, and you don't really need to explain what it is. Do you want to drop?
Sure.
Okay, so you can't really see. Let's pop it up there. This is photosensitive, so you want to make sure you're putting it on where the sun doesn't shine. Oh, so good, so good. This one's the lime and the vanilla and the copaiba. It's really sweet smelling.
Very nice.
And interestingly enough, it's my number one fave with the children as well. So then if my stress levels are rising, then they'll say, Mum, do you want to drop a Stress Away? Which I take as a compliment.
And a fairly broad hint.
That's what I meant about the compliments. Like,
Yeah.
You're not being an old bag, Mum, but we just thought you might want some Stress Away.
That's right.
And also that it's actually been really helpful for all of us when we're going to sleep. We put a drop on as well, just because of, I didn't realise the stresses on the children. I always thought it was the adults that went into huge stress, but my eldest especially has been expressing stress, and I'm feeling really stressed, Mum, and I've got to get school done, and I've got a huge week, and we might talk about that next week. Didn't want to take too long, but thank you so much. Oh, what's your favourite oil for moving?
I have two, frankincense and rosemary. Frankincense to just center me, get me back in my body, and rosemary is purported to keep your mind alert and focused. So,
okay, perfect. So, frankincense for grounding, which is one of the first things we talked about a few weeks ago. Rosemary for keeping yourself sharp. And so that message, that simple tip was basically focus, planning into manageable chunks.
make it work for yourself. Understand how you work and plan it out so that you can do it as effectively and efficiently as possible without undue stress.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining
Welcome.
us. See you later. Thanks for
right.
joining us, and make sure you subscribe to the Brook and Cedar YouTube channel. Ciao.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Where's the off switch? I can never work it out.
I don't know.